In this serve comparison, we're looking at Augie's serve next to Roger Federer, and what we're going to look at is some of the things that we talked about the other night, but also some things that we did not discuss. And the first of which is the fact that when Federer tosses, his arm is completely straight. That's something that Augie does not do. If we let that video play through, we can see that Augie tosses with a bent arm, and Augie also lets go of the ball at a much lower point than Roger. So if we just kind of rewind a little bit, you can see that when Roger lets go of the ball, he lets go closer to forehead or eye level, and Augie lets go at a much lower point, probably the lower part of the face or the chin area. So again, getting that left arm straight and then letting go of the ball at a later point in the toss. The next thing we'll look at is the trophy position. So you see Roger's trophy position, you see that right arm is up, and you see his left arm is also vertical. This is something that Augie needs to work on, is getting his left arm completely vertical after he tosses the ball. He's not doing that, and he needs to work on that power position. So we'll move on from the power position, and you can see again here that same exact thing. Get that left arm more vertical, get it up, and then you're in that true trophy position. And we'll let it play through to contact, and we're going to look at the difference in the contact here. And what we see with Roger is that the contact takes place more to the right. And what I want you to see here is the blue line. And look where that blue line is from the ball down, straight down. You can see that ball will line up above Roger's shoulder. And with Augie, the ball is definitely off to the left. Augie has also over-rotated his body, and he's off balance when he's hitting this serve. This is the second one that we shot of him. I showed you the first one last night. This is the second one. This is a different one, but again, he's still opening up his hips quite a bit, as you can see with that pink arrow, and then his contact is taking place way too far off to the left. We'll move on to the finish position here, but we're going to let this play forward and then look at what happens because of that over-rotation. And again, we kind of talked about this last night, but Augie's really facing off to the left. On his finish, Roger's facing a little bit more towards his opponent when he finishes. That means Augie's really susceptible to a return to his forehand side with pace on that ad side. So if somebody hits it to his forehand aggressively, he's really kind of going to the backhand here when he should be ready to go to either side like you see with Roger. And we just switched views of Augie from the side now, and we're going to look at this next to Roger from the side. And I want you to look at the last thing that's important for Augie, which is really the contact point. So I'm going to let this play through a little bit from the trophy position. And what you see here is leading up to contact, the difference in where Augie's ball is. So look at Augie's ball right now on the left here, and look how it's kind of directly above his head as he's going to hit this serve. And if you look at Roger, that ball is more out in front of his body, and this can lead to hitting the ball long on the serve with Augie. So again, look at that red arrow position on both screens. You can see here at contact where Roger is and where Augie is. And then at the finish, you can see that Roger will land a little bit more inside the court, and then he's got his chest more facing his opponent rather than off to the side. So just as a review, a couple of things I want Augie to work on is to make sure that he tosses with a straight arm first. He also needs to make sure that he releases the ball at eye or forehead level when he's tossing. That'll make it easier to keep that left arm straight. In the trophy position, his left arm has to be vertical to get a better load and a better power position. At contact with the ball, it should be above his hitting shoulder, and his hips and shoulders should not be so open to the net. And the last thing is to get the ball tossed more out in front of his body at contact, preventing hitting some of those serves long.